we just sat down with Outdated Collective. The boys, Mitch and Cooper, I say this every time, Jack. I know the listeners getting sick of me, but it actually was an unbelievable chat. They were actually the boys that filmed the Fitzroy Garage Party, the infamous Fitzroy Garage Party. We dived super deep. Jack, what did you take out of it?
We did, yeah. It was a really cool chat. Cool to go into the virality of a moment like that, being the garage party that Mitch filmed himself. They also run a pretty successful clothing brand, so we dived into all things clothing and
very successful.
Their growth so far, yeah. So that was a really interesting chat, a lot going on. And yeah, if you guys could just remember to follow and give us 5 stars.
5 stars.
If you guys like this podcast. Apparently Ratatouille died when he got 4 stars on a meal. So
rest in peace, Ratatouille. Enjoy the app.
Boys don't want to die. Let's build some context for everyone, for our listeners out there. Outdated Collective, Mitch, Cooper. Give us a little rundown maybe of, I guess, the brand and what it's about.
Yeah, so we're from Adelaide. We've been selling hoodies for a couple of years now. Just growing the brand back home and hopping across the border when we can.
Yeah, we got a little pop-up here for the weekend at the Hunter Markets. Planned it about 10 days ago, so we've come here this morning. We were just saying before, 4:40 flight. We woke up 4:40, straight on the flight. So luckily these boys came in clutch, had a nice little coffee before to wake us up. But yeah, so just from Adelaide, running our brand, a little COVID baby that we had. And
is this your first pop-up?
Yeah, it is.
Yes,
it is actually.
Yeah.
Usually everything's just online. We've just got our warehouse back home in Cooper's garage, as we say, the warehouse, that we run everything out of, all online, social medias. So yeah, time to get to meet some people interstate and
that's Sunday.
See how it goes.
We'll have to see if we can get down.
Yeah,
that's in Mentone. I know the Hunter Market. Yeah,
is that where it is? See,
we're
not from Melbourne.
I might be driving you out
We're going to pick up a
yeah.
car and go and we'll put it in maps.
It's a good way to do it. It's a good way to do it. Yeah, well, I reckon we'll swing down.
Is it far from here, Mentone?
No, like
not too bad.
20, 25 minutes.
Yeah,
It's real like beachy kind of area.
Oh, cool.
Perfect.
That's a good spot.
Great spot.
Jump in the ocean in the morning.
Yeah, there you go. Get those budgies from them.
Yeah, I've got the budgies on ready. We were just saying that.
Very ready.
Got 7 pairs yesterday.
Shit. That's a
one
win.
for every day of the week.
I don't mind that at all.
So when did you guys start everything off with Outdated?
September 2020.
Yeah. I looked at him straight away because we did a podcast once and I said 3 different dates. September 2020 was when COVID sort of peaked in Adelaide, sort of started. Backstory as well, we've been best mates since we were born. Our family's been best family friends. We just always said how we wanted to start something up together, start a business, work together, try to create the dream we always wanted when we were a kid. And sort of put it into reality. Just started punching out some T-shirts and then slowly brought in hoodies, some hats, and then sort of got in the right people's hands, influencer-wise, and they had a big influence on us. That sort of grew and turned into our job.
Oh yeah.
So clothing and fashion's kind of been a big passion of yours growing up?
Yeah, I've always loved it. Just that sort of differentiating from other people's fashion. Adelaide's pretty simple fashion, so we love coming up here because everyone's just dressed to impress, which is a lot better. But I used to work at a retail shop when I was younger, from about year 9 to year out of school, so just ran with that.
Shit, nice.
So I was surrounded by it all the time. Just always wanted to then branch out into my own thing from that.
That's dope.
Which was cool.
Built some special stuff for you too. Speaking of influencers and like social media, you guys were part of the infamous Fitzroy Garage Party.
That we are.
Sorry to bring it up so
Trauma's coming back.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, boys. But
keep going.
Tell us I don't even know where to begin.
It was crazy. So we came up here, when was it? About 3 weeks ago?
A couple of weeks before Christmas.
A couple of weeks before Chrissy. We had a mate from his 21st. So flew up and we had a few meetings. We've got a manufacturer here. So we had some meetings with them. We're like, perfect, killed 2 birds with one stone, come up for the weekend. So we don't know many people up here in Melbourne. Obviously through the brand, we speak to a fair few, but
they know you though.
We wish.
We wish.
I don't know.
So came up and had Jordan's 21st. So we're just having prees at a mate's house. And from what I posted, just a few snippets of the night that turned into a viral sensation of hate.
Crazy.
And just blew up for a few weeks, which was, it was pretty funny, but just a massive insight into social media and what it can do. But I don't know, we were pretty positive about it. We just sort of ran with it, as we spoke about at coffee. Any publicity is good publicity, as long as you look at it with the right light. it's nothing that we did that was really wrong. So besides a cringy video, or 5.
Yeah.
We've all made a lot of cringy videos.
Absolutely. That's why we're all here right now.
Yeah.
I'm surprised some of the other ones hadn't gone over
Yeah.
more viewers from the cringy stuff that we've done.
Content's pretty easy to judge, so
Yeah.
this is just a showcase of that, I guess.
So unpredictable that like
Oh, it was
TikTok
crazy.
is just crazy how
I think it was
literally just saying like garage party and bang. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, put up a video and just caption it garage party, and then next second you're getting messages and all these follows going blah 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 blah, just from some video that we're hardly even in because I was videoing it the whole time.
Yeah.
But
That's crazy. Just so like for the listener, I mean, and for everyone really listening, no one's been in this like these shoes, right? It's like you're saying like on Christmas you're getting DMs about like go kill yourself.
oh yeah,
Like how you like what's your headspace in that moment?
we were pretty positive at the start. I still don't even think we've sort of really grabbed a glimpse of how big it got. It was just like, like there's a few comments, there's a few likes, there's a few reshares and duets. Like it's a trending video. Why wouldn't you do it? It's going to get you views. But it wasn't until like I jumped on with Vice on Monday and we were sort of talking, and even yesterday I was in the city and a few people came up being like, oh, yeah, how are you, Fitzroy? I sort of got home and I was like, jeepers, maybe like this is actually a lot bigger than we think. But no, we're pretty positive about it. I mean, there's plenty of hate comments and plenty of messages, but at the end of the day, like we've got our close mates, we've got our family that we need supporting us. So I couldn't really care about someone else's opinion unless I care about theirs.
Definitely.
So as long as we stay positive and look at it in the light, then we're sweet. But thanks for checking in.
Of course.
I appreciate that. We
absolutely.
haven't had a heap check in, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because it's been such a big joke, and I guess we've gone with it as a joke as well. So a lot from the outside, it's like, oh, these guys don't care. But it's pretty full on, to be honest.
And you guys obviously been pretty supportive of each other, everyone involved.
Yeah, we were saying we set up a few group chats straight away, just saying, boys, like just checking in that everything's all good.
Yeah. Because I'd imagine like people would be dealing with it far differently.
Oh, 100%. And you never know what someone's actually going through. So that's why I said, I feel so bad. Like obviously some of these boys that we were with, their job's influencing, they're influencers. And obviously when you're copping it from the whole internet, you feel targeted and you're seeing every second videos about you. So we're just checking in, but all those boys have been real good. Everyone was real supportive. So
That's the crazy thing about it is that it can flow into your personal lives and everything else. Like you boys were saying earlier, like you took the outdated handles off your personals.
Yeah.
Didn't want it to kind of transfer over.
It
Negative
was sort of
feedback.
just a worry of like, because seeing how much hate, we were like, oh, I really hope something that we've built up for the last 2 years doesn't just get completely, like
Tainted.
cancel culture's massive. And that's why we kept trying to reassure each other. We're like, we haven't done anything wrong besides the cringy videos we said, but like, it's not like we've targeted anyone or done anything. So we were just like, let's try to keep this just to ourselves and just get over it together, and then we'll get back into it. But yeah, new year, new us, 2023 drama free.
Yeah. we'll see. Hunter Market Sunday, get ready.
We'll see the turn up there. We'll just get rinsed there and then leave
Oh, we love it.
with all the hoodies in our pockets.
I think it's an interesting one, man. The way I perceive it in a way is, I think we know men's mental health, like in Australia, like, you know, is increasing suicide rates, and like a lot of this we're pretty aware of as a culture. But on social media, like with this herd mentality, like a bunch, like 10 boys, like putting up a video, like sort of just being themselves, really like mucking around a little bit. But it's just like for a whole society to come in like so negatively, and we wonder why like men's mental health is like where it is. You know, I don't know. I think I'm making a link between those sort of two things.
No, definitely, because we said that. Well, what about you copped a message, hey Coop, from someone that was on Sunrise for being a men's mental health advocate.
Yeah, some kid had a news feature about COVID mental health for students, and then he commented saying like, kill yourself, buddy, or something. And that, like, all those comments pissed me off a little bit. I was just like, again, you can joke around, but like mental health stuff's not a joke. But just like through the whole thing, I think learning on ways of just like, all right, you know what's happening. It's like all on social media. If you can learn to block it out and put that energy and or frustration into positive things. So just say, we're getting these hate comments, blah, blah, blah. We could sit there and sook and go do something negative, or we could put more energy into the brand, putting positive energy out there, being healthy, like all that sort of thing. Just that as a personal building block.
We just kept saying, kill them with kindness.
Yeah,
Always.
not even that. Just like, not about them. It's just about us. Like, they're hating on us. What can we do? Like, because at the end of the day, like, the internet's the internet. People can say what they want. That's how you deal with it. And obviously we've learned a lot in the last 2 weeks on how each other deal with it, and it's all been pretty.
Yeah, my skin's gotten a bit thicker. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, thicker skin.
That's what I got for Christmas. Some thick skin.
Pretty good present that. Funny thing about that is usually those people that are, spreading hate on the internet have the most problems.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Hurt people hurt people. So
Mm.
it's someone else's problems that they're just trying to pass on to someone else. And as we said, like, I've dealt with anxiety my whole life. Like, you never know what someone's actually going through. It's just pointless comments.
I've also heard a successful person never hates on someone less successful than them. So if you're striving and working towards something, you're not going to waste your time trying to put someone else below you down.
That's so
What's
awesome.
the point of that?
I love that, man.
Yeah, well, and like everyone was there at one point in their life, right? Like everyone's had to go on that journey. So like it doesn't just happen in a blink of an eye. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's all the things behind the scenes that you do. And I think that's why we were most frustrated, was because it's like, what we've built up for so long can easily just seeing how big this has
Couple
gotten.
videos, bang.
just can
might this like take away all that
will
hard
this
work?
take away all our hard work for just having some fun?
Yeah.
Which we're so grateful it hasn't.
Yeah.
And like we didn't think it would, but it was just that sort of fright
The
of
overthinking
like
part
you're
of it.
just going
Yeah,
straight
yeah.
into spiraling of going, what if this, what if that, like blah blah blah. Your parents are coming in going, hey, there's news articles about you, like what have you done? They don't understand.
It's in like the age. Your parents were in the local age and coming over.
They were like, well, what's it? Yeah.
What have you done?
Mum thought I was a new Corey Worthington. I was like, I don't even drink alcohol.
That's wild.
But
Because
classic.
on this podcast, like most episodes, we really endorse like the power of TikTok for like young people, and I think it's an opportunity like never before. Even just in this last 2 years, I think people are growing at rates we've never seen, and like
Incredible.
it's insane. And in terms of like commerce and making a sustainable business, it's a great avenue. But I'm really glad we have you guys on today, because there is like a really ugly side of TikTok. I mean, on that component of virality, I think you get across to certain eyeballs and open up to certain comments. Like this didn't just go global in Australia. Like this went huge overseas as well.
Yeah.
I think that's what shocked us. Like, I got a mate in Canada, he called me on Christmas. He's like, bro, what's going on? Like, I'm on the slopes and everyone's talking about this Fitzroy garage party, and I seen you posted it.
Dude.
I was like, to be honest, I can't even explain what it is. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to log off for Christmas, man. Like, but yeah, it's
Very interesting that a lot of the support was from overseas too.
yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
because they were so clueless.
I love the Aussie boys.
Who's Fitzroy and where's his garage party? Like, they were making me, like, I was in tears.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
some of the, and we said it before, we said it's like, as bad as some of them was, there were some seriously funny comments. There were some seriously funny like duets that we were just sending to each
parodies
other,
are
just being like,
hilarious.
this is actually classic.
Like the Australian Open did a
Yeah,
bit.
the Australian
all
Open did
all
it.
the AFL clubs are jumping
Yeah.
on. You had a European airline post from
Yeah,
this morning.
Riot Airline.
Like, where's
Sent
this
it,
come
I
from?
replied to it. I said, surely this gets us free business class. Have you heard of Riot Airline?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the real like TikTok-y like
That's
I think
airline?
so, yeah.
They post like
Yeah.
all sorts of memes.
But
about
I
them.
don't think, from the comments, I don't think they're a great airline, because everyone's commenting being like, business class, mate. That doesn't exist with Riot.
Oh, I think they're like the budget. Like,
Yeah. You'd be lucky to get a seatbelt on this flight. I was like, oh, all right, fair enough.
Stay off that plane, I think.
Europe's Tiger Airlines.
Yeah. So, yeah, pretty funny.
has that whole scenario, has that changed the way you're looking at potentially TikTok and social media down the line?
We sort of grabbed it and sort of ran with it as much as we could. Like I said before, I've just been going live each day now, sort of just jumping on and talking to people and with mates, just because it's genuinely so much, like it's so different this day and age of what it can do. And you go live and you can have up to, in one video, I think we had up to 17,000 join, like just over the period. It's like they're from all over the world that just get to see you and know you. And when you've got a brand that relates back to that, and as we were saying, chuck in a few sly comments that weren't there.
Well, it's big drop tomorrow night.
Yeah. Who commented this? Outdated is the best brand. Yes, thank you. I heard you went on the podcast today. Yeah, we did. Which is so funny. You can just be yourself, which is, I think, the best thing when you, as you boys said before, which is the best advice, is being yourself, that people can trust you, people will trust your brand. I think I've definitely taken that on board since coffee this morning, just going, this year we've got to start putting ourselves over the TikTok, over Instagram, going online more.
Yeah.
Just because it's so true. Like, if people know who you guys are and your values, they're going to support your brand and what the brand's values are, because it just relates back.
100%. I think TikTok's the extension of that, because Instagram's pretty two-dimensional, because there's a ton of photos. It's a bit like a lot of barriers, but you look at TikTok, like you're hearing voice, you're hearing like little quirky idiosyncrasies and mannerisms.
Yeah, you see people's expression, you see their true side.
Yeah, you talk about like building that sort of relationship with an audience, and you know, a global audience as well, and it's just a whole new level of interaction. It's incredible.
Yeah, definitely.
Different ball game for sure. Just
Yeah.
quick, exciting, potential. But
you're
it's silly
seeing-
not to be doing it.
Yeah, the amount of like kids generally who have well-paid jobs it's a tricky job, but from posting videos and doing what they love, that can make a full-time income. Like, you're not going to say no to that.
Right.
Would you rather go work at Macca's all day or go post a dancing video promoting a brand?
Yeah.
I'd be doing that in a heartbeat.
Facts.
How have you guys structured, I guess, your time maybe now? Like, is it more allocated, you know, making videos, making clips, because you know that's where the eyes come from, or is it?
Oh, I haven't really thought about it too much. We should be more.
yeah.
We've always said we will. I went and got a camera. Shout out to Brooke, actually. She gave me a camera. I didn't go get one. So we said we're just going to start getting clips and just making little vlogs, because it gives people an insight, and just post it on the brand. Post on the personal, put it over to the brand, send people in that direction, just to see what we do and what we're about.
Love it, man.
But try and make it a bit more professional, of good quality, to relate back to what we want our standards to be like.
Bloody oath. And seeing a few of your products lately, you've had a few different like female influencers wear the garments. Have you seen like a big spike in sales with like females from that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
The
100%.
influencer game is no joke. Like, I suppose these girls are looked up to. They know their fashion, they've got their audience, and they're just, we've had some great ones that we've worked with. Great to deal with. You send them the garment, they get some content. The biggest part is if they love the garment.
Yeah.
Hence our biggest emphasis is a quality product. We'd hate to send them something we didn't love ourselves.
100%.
Definitely.
So
But
just,
everyone we've worked with has been nothing but amazing.
Wow.
Very, very supportive. Communication amazing, and they've all gone above and beyond for us.
Wow.
And just created heaps good connections with them and friendships now that we're flying up to hang out with them now. So it's like,
Awesome.
which is so like another side of social media is just like, how'd you guys meet? Social media, like Instagram.
Yeah, literally.
Oh, well, we've got this brand, they've got this brand. It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's a great part.
It's just the world we live in.
I always say to people, like, if you start a business, because another huge theme on here is just like, go start, go create. And
Yep.
I think when you start a business, you become like a bigger vehicle. I'll almost say it's like being a bus driver and everyone can jump in your bus.
Yeah.
Where like if you're not a business, you're like a little 2-seater car.
Yeah.
You can't, you don't have as much momentum, or like you're not going to fly interstate because there is, you know what I mean? Like you're not just going to have coffees interstate.
You're not going to strike convoys of people over
Correct.
Yeah.
the weather. Like
but
when you got similar interests and similar goals, sort of thing.
Facts, but you will do a hunter market with 10 other brands
Yeah.
and connect with all these people.
And that's what we said. We said, even though like we get a lot of sales in Melbourne, don't get me wrong, but Adelaide is our hometown. So that's where a lot of majority of it comes. They've seen us grow from nothing to what we are now, which is still not much, but they've seen the growth. And we said that we're like, there's 10 other brands at this market. We're going to be able to meet so many locals from Melbourne, 10 brands, and just network, talk to people, meet them, see their true sides, see our true sides, which is almost better than going there and making sales, because it's like what comes out of that as well. And then people seeing that we came up for a market and going, oh, cool, do you want to do this again? Or would you want to come to Adelaide? We'll get you guys down here. Just sort of small things like that, which I think is such a big thing in the business industry.
100%.
It's just who you know, not what you know.
So much to say for just showing up. Like
Yeah.
you guys just getting on a flight.
Yeah.
Just like,
Literally.
let's just
Our
see how it
posters
goes, you know?
didn't.
Yeah, I know. I forgot the posters for the market
We
tomorrow.
went in, all our posters that we made for the markets are still sitting
bit
in
of
limb.
office works
Yeah.
last minute, or
Literally, we
Yeah.
were going today. Yeah.
They're sitting in Adelaide. So that's good.
yeah.
But
Hey, happens.
You live and you learn.
So those last minute things, I'm telling
Yeah,
you, they're
literally.
hard to remember.
Yeah.
And you learn for next time.
Bloody
I
oath.
suppose it's all part of
Oh,
learning.
it makes it
We've been
funny.
all over the shop.
Makes it funny.
Yeah.
And that's what we said. We've said all week, because I've still been working. We've been mucking around, getting things planned. We're like, we really haven't had a time to sit down and think about the markets of like how it's going to go, what it's going to do. We've got no expectations, which makes it that 10 times better, because we've
no
got nothing
pressure.
to expect. Yeah. If we go over there and sell one hoodie, if we sell 500 hoodies, it's like, cool. We came up to Melbourne, we had fun, jumped on a podcast. We were at a market for 2 days,
Bloody oath.
met heaps of people.
Mate,
Sounds like a good
time well
weekend.
spent.
Yeah.
I can already tell from meeting you guys this morning, like with your perspectives, as you just touched on, it's like you're so positive, and I can tell you create great relationships because,
Thanks
like,
for that.
yeah, of course, because you're looking at all the positives. Like, you're not like, oh, you know, this thing was delayed, or like, you know, you're not letting, say, posters get you down. Like,
Yeah.
we fucked it.
Don't
Like,
later
you
on
know?
the day.
But,
Yeah.
like sometimes you can let those little things get you in the dumps.
Yeah.
But you guys are just like positives, like we're here, we're doing this, on to the next thing. And that attitude, if you do that long enough, like you'll just keep progressing forward.
Appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
A quote I heard recently, it's like every day you've got 1,000 reasons to cry and 1,000 reasons to smile. And it's just like try to focus on what you're grateful for that day, the good things, instead of like letting the little stuff ups drag you down, sort of thing.
Yeah, it's that glass half full, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
we've heard it like forever.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's
But
just
it's
the
so true.
truest
Oh,
thing,
it's
isn't it?
absolute truth.
It's what I always say to Coopers, you never know that your bad luck's not saving you from worse luck. So it's like, okay, we forgot the posters bad luck, but it's saving us from saying that was going to be worse.
Yeah.
Not sure what it was, but
Roll with it.
yeah, roll with it. Quite sounds good, and I believe it.
I like that.
And most of the time, these are just like expectations that are in your head. Like no one else knows that you guys are going to bring posters that much.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? So like, if you don't have posters there, like probably doesn't really
cares?
matter.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it just matters to you guys because
Yeah,
maybe you're
because we had it all
perfectionists
planned
or
out going, this is
that
where
was your
we're putting
plan.
here
That's
and
what it
here.
looked like. Yeah.
Be all end all.
Make up a story.
Yeah,
when we
people get
there.
so caught up in their heads about like what it has to look
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but
Where's all your stuff? Oh, I got lost on the flight.
yeah,
Just roll with anything.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not our fault.
Nah, we didn't leave it behind.
No way.
So
way.
what's been the evolution then in terms of maybe like your garments and like growing that and what did it look like at the start and now where are you guys kind of now?
The very start was some very basic t-shirts.
Yeah.
Just setting the
We did go pretty hard at the start though. We did custom cut and sew for the
Yeah,
very first
Wow.
tee.
Oh, I was
yeah.
going to take
Yeah.
a pun on AS Colour, but no, you guys.
yeah,
we
we
went custom cut and sew from
Love that.
Bangladesh for the first
Bangladesh?
tee.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Bangladesh in the house.
yeah, all the Bangladeshian shout out.
Yeah.
which was which was awesome.
Yeah.
But we just started off with some tees.
Yep.
Um,
Did a few tea releases.
yeah,
Made it
just to try
got
and build
colder.
it up.
Yep.
I think if we did it again, we didn't promote anything, didn't tell anyone, kept it on the hush until the day we dropped. So no one knew what it was anyway. So it was like, we've done this bad. Could have built it up over time. Look what's coming, look what's coming.
No soft release over there.
No
That
soft
was
launch
bang.
at all. It was
Here
just,
it
hey
is.
guys, look at what we've been doing.
Here, go.
Yeah.
Yeah, bye.
But yeah, no, we just started off with some tees and
Yep.
slowly went into accessories and slowly got some hoodies in.
Bangladesh was doing all of this?
Yeah.
Sick.
And then we hit up, found a Melbourne manufacturer recently.
Yes.
The last year and a half.
Yep.
Sick.
And then, that's when we sort of started to grow.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The quality hoodies was where it really started.
Yeah. Australian made hoodies. And
What was the thought process with bringing it to Australia?
I think we were just saying like Australian made hoodies that ethically sourced, better quality. That's a massive selling point for some people.
And also, as a small startup, the ease of being able to fly to Melbourne and feel the product, see the product.
Be there.
Because we did take a few stabs at some random manufacturers and had troubles, as you
horrible
guys
stuff.
would know very, very well.
Tough. Yeah.
It's hard when you're speaking a different language online and taking a stab and paying
Yeah.
4 times the price to get it here. But
You have some bad stories?
Oh, we've got some horrible garments to
some
show.
horrific samples.
Some
Yeah.
horrific stuff.
It belongs in
Fucking-
the circus. But
Yeah, some hoodies that are horrible. I remember we ordered about like 100 beanies. They came, they were completely wrong.
Yeah.
Just chucked them.
Still collecting dust at home.
Still
No,
sitting
they're
in
just-
the, in the
yeah.
office.
Go to Salvo's. Just
Yeah, that's
genuinely.
where they
But,
belong. They're not.
It's,
Ever gonna
as
be
we
sold.
said, makes it that much funnier. It's either going to be a good story or like a good outcome.
Yeah.
So it's something to laugh about now. At the time, we were obviously
Devastated. Yeah.
This
in
is
the
so
dump.
annoying.
Yeah.
It's
It's a
like
chunk
we
of
just
the bank
wasted
account,
this
yeah.
cash. And back then, when you're starting up, money's not flowing around. Like you can't just be spending
I was
this
gonna say,
money
100
for
beanies, it
samples.
almost breaks the bank.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, dude.
Almost put us in
Seriously.
liquidation.
We nearly went under then.
Yeah.
We were picking up shifts everywhere we could.
Yeah.
But yeah, now it's sort of branched out, and we said it from the start. For the first two or so years, we just want to put our name on a garment and just pump that out, get our name out there as much as possible, keep
Yep.
it simple,
Yep.
just so we can get recognised, build a brand. And now, 2023 is time to start changing things up and get some cool things on the way, which is exciting.
Unreal. Not to backtrack too much, but like, has there been an influencer that's moved the needle for you guys? Like a real straightforward, like you gave them one garment and you saw that sell way more. Has that been a?
These hoodies that we did, the quote "Your love is outdated" definitely grew us exponential, which came from, it was a pretty funny story. One of our mates and his girlfriend broke up. Sends him, I was like, mate, don't stress, like, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, one of those good old love stories. And he just sends a message through and he's like, love's outdated, dude. And like, we always used to say it and he's like, I'm being serious, like, it's just not the same. Like, mate,
Loves that.
come on, man, like, you're 22, like, it's all right. Like,
It's all right.
still got plenty of time. But made him a hoodie. just like a print on demand one because I was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to get these printed. So made him one, gave it to him. I was like, here you go, mate. And then posted a photo of it just because we had it there. And everyone was like, oh, when are these dropping? When are these dropping? And me and Coop were like rattled. We were like, people want these? Like, what? This is just like a little muck around. And then, yeah.
And that was the
ran with
big
that
thing.
Yeah. So that quote definitely took us to another level.
I think that's such an important note for the listener. A lot of the time I speak to a lot of small brands and they try to figure out like what's their like winning product. And it's a bit of a cringy phrase that, but like what's like, you know, the thing that people are going to love. That's what everyone's trying to figure out.
Yeah,
Like,
try to figure something different to someone else. Like,
yeah, and I love how you guys stumbled across like that and it was really innocuous and you just posted it and it would like kind of just happen.
Yeah.
And that's, I can relate in a lot of different ways to products that we've done. And often it's not, you know, it's not you perfecting something on Adobe and going, this is it. Like,
this is
I
the
know.
sick one.
Everyone's
like,
gonna love
worked
this.
so hard for this. Because then
100%.
you'd crash after if it didn't because you're going, I built this up and I thought this was it.
Expectations,
Yeah.
yeah.
Your expectations are so high where if it didn't go well, it's like, well, what's the point? I thought this was sick.
Yep.
How's something else going to beat this?
Yeah.
So we were just, real lucky, right place, right time that the quote had just
That's crazy.
worked out.
It sounds like you guys your mind frame is like very much around like being nimble and like being ready to pivot. And earlier you guys have this mindset of like you don't marry things, I think, and that comes kind of into that, you know, quote, like you put this quote up and like bang, people like it and you're like, shit, the market's saying this product is good, let's go with it. And now I want to bring this into like maybe how you've diverted more into like a women's maybe market with maybe coloring and different things like that, because I think people can come into a small brand thinking this is how it has to be, I want it done like this, I want these people wearing it, and then they might have 4 or 5 people wearing it but no one else.
No, definitely. Like we said at coffee, a lot more female followers, hey Coop, compared to
and they love the hoodie scene.
Yeah, and that's
2022 was big for that. The puff print sort of hoodie vibe. That was a great hit this year. Just like big, comfy, oversized hoodie, drop shoulders, basic design on the back. Even the colorways, we'd put up a story, let the followers decide what the next drop color was.
The funniest thing is me and Coop used to always be like, dude, this one's it. And we'd post a photo and everyone would vote for the other one.
Yeah.
And we're like, we don't even know what our people want. Dude. Like, we've got to start letting them do our orders.
Literally. Come in
like,
the
we
office,
used to
guys.
order, like, I remember we ordered some T-shirts and we were like, yes, this is the one. And it was like, came out to be a wrong color. Like, no. And this was like only last year. This was recent. And we put it up thinking like, no one's going to vote for this. Everyone voted for that color. We were like, jeepers.
Clueless.
Like, we've got no idea, man.
Back to that point, isn't it? It's like at the end of the day, like you have a diverse audience. You're not going to know.
No, exactly.
And
what
our
we
vision's
think's cool and what we
different
like.
Exactly.
It's not what Stacey from Brisbane like.
Correct. Well, shout out to Stacey.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lovely lady. But,
Top 2 and she's my number 2.
talk. But I think just like on that, what I wanted to say was, I think Jack was saying it really well. You know, you can have your expectation like, oh, we're going to sell this color. And this is, I think, every creative from like musicians to pottery to clothing, everyone, no matter what creative industry you're in, you face this barrier or this issue where it's like, you know what you love, you know what colors you're about, you know what designs you would put on it, but that doesn't mean your audience, and in fact, far often your audience won't take that on, you know? So it's like, you've got to get in this little tango, takes 2 to tango, and just kind of mix with them, you know, and find out what that middle point is.
Yeah. And that's why like we learned that just putting heaps of stories up before we drop something, just putting them up and let them vote and just get it down and down and down to the final ones, because they're the ones who are spending the money. We might like this one the best, but at the end of the day, we're not the ones buying it. They're the ones who are going to be spending the money. If they want to wear that, we'll give them that.
So run us through your model then. Is it you guys posting a few different options and then maybe the most voted, you guys go and get that made? Is that
pretty much?
We usually sample up. Like when we came up last, we got a tour of our manufacturer. As we said, it's up here in Melbourne, so it made it a lot easier.
Sick.
And me and Coop we ended up walking out with, I reckon, 10 different colours each, just going sick.
Get photos of these, post them up.
And just try new colours on them. If people didn't like them, me and Coop have another one to get photos in and put it on the Instagram anyway. And the ones that they did like, we'll just sort of slowly built it down to the select few. And then we've still got the other ones there that we'll now start posting again. And if they still like them or if they don't like them, try some new colours.
Also the power of the social media, direct consumer feedback. Like it's right there. You're 5 seconds away from all these messages, comments, like likes, certain posts do well. You'd assume that product is more likely to do well. You've got Shopify there as well. There's a few little obviously things on our phone, Instagram, Shopify, that are right there. Definitely helps us go day by day for deciding the next order and that.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not sure how brands would have done it 15 years ago without Instagram.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what they used to do, because my mum was an absolute shocker. It was market research. I know my mum used to like take me along. She's like, Jess, we'll get like make some money. This is like OG stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, there was like a chocolate milk one, and they like put out like 4 different chocolate milks. Like, which one do you like? Like circle this, and like you say how old you are. Like that's how they used to get data.
Crazy.
Fucking, and like in some weird old hall with all these weird people in there, and they'd hand you cash as well. You used to look at this. Crazy.
No way. They still got those set up?
I don't know.
Test some
I'll call my mum after this. Yeah.
It's a pretty good gig, that.
It was unbelievable. Best thing I ever done. But
Let's drop the brand and do that.
yeah, what are we doing here? But no, real talk is, I love that point. It's like that instant feedback.
Oh, yeah.
You know, wow, great point.
Super, super helpful. Even right from day one, you can kind of sense the numbers, the messages, like it's all there.
And when you're doing polls, you know, you sort of get some advice of how many people are voting compared to your last one and how many you sold from your last one, and sort of marking it up.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I suppose over time, doing that consistently too, like you're going to have a better idea of just how many units you do need to make.
Yeah, because you know
like
how
what
many,
does 100 comments mean?
Yeah, exactly.
In terms of how many units.
Yeah, 100%.
And the
100%.
algorithm can play you sometimes.
Yeah,
There's weeks
the
where we'll
algorithm's so
just
weird.
roller coaster for no reason.
We were saying though, it's
could be
weird.
reason.
Usually when we get like someone posting us and we get a bunch of followers, the next week we won't get as many story views as the week before.
Wow.
Yeah, which is weird.
Yeah, that is weird. Yeah.
Because usually it's like the first 7 days of following, you get all their stuff thrown in your face.
Yeah, true. That's a good point.
And then some weeks we get all these followers and then we get heaps of story views, and it's just like completely changes, goes both ways.
Yeah, I think that's just why you got to like stick to your guns, stay consistent.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Don't let
what
the
you do.
numbers completely ruin you
Yeah.
either.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
And
Yeah, because there'd be times at the start where we're like, dude, we're only getting this amount of
what's
story
going on?
views. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
It's like, you can't control anything.
I think Instagram's pretty aware that, like, I mean, they're giving out a lot of free, platforms for people.
Yeah.
It's like, how long is this going to exist? I don't know. But, I think that's why it's important to sort of shift up your polls. Like, you might do like a little question board or like, because I think some brands fall into like, it gets really monotonous because like if 10 brands are doing polls, like what color do you like? Is it red or blue?
Yeah.
Customers aren't dumb to be like, you're just making me choose. Like, you need to kind of like take them on a bit of a journey, a bit of a story,
Yeah.
Like maybe like
Bring videos into it.
Yeah,
or
bring a
like even
video
jumping
in.
on a live and going, hey, these are the samples we've got.
Bang.
Let's hear some honest reviews.
do a Fitzroy garage party, whatever you got to
throw
do.
a garage party.
Yeah,
Throw a pop up at a garage party.
Do whatever you have
Small
to do.
things like that.
Yeah, just small
Any
things.
publicity is good publicity. At
Yeah.
the end of the day. No, it's very true though.
Yeah. I just think I've seen a lot of brands just kind of like it's funny. Like it is a foolproof strategy, but I think you've got to just keep like reinvent the wheel a little bit.
And you see one thing work and it's like, bang, let's do that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think that's what we always say as well. It's like, oh yeah, but this brand did this so well. It's like we also forget like, well, we're our own bosses. We run the brand. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to listen to someone else or do what someone else has done.
Nah.
There's no menu for this. There's no like logbook going, hey, this is how you do it.
Facts.
So yeah.
So you guys have grown, be fair to say, a pretty loyal audience now, especially in SA.
Yeah.
Starting to go interstate.
Yeah.
Things are looking good. You're growing. I'm sure that more garments, with each drop.
Yeah.
What are your plans like this year in terms of trying to scale that and kind of take it to the next level?
I think just emphasizing. Sorry, I'm
got
really
it out
bad.
there.
That's
It's a
my
tough
worst
one.
word.
It's a tough
Come on,
one.
we've been
Yeah.
up since 4 this morning.
Yeah, can't
practicing.
even pronounce Jack's name right today.
That's all right.
No, I think just focusing on like building a brand experience. So it's like I don't want someone to just like chuck $120 and get a hoodie. Like I want them to really want that hoodie, get the hoodie, love wearing it, love everything about it. So that's again part of like going live, doing pop-up events, just like building an experience. That's the main goal.
And then just more like custom stuff. Like as we said, we're going to get some denim in, we're going to get some jackets, just change it up. Now that we've, as we said, we wanted to do this for the first 2 years. Obviously, we still release everything like this, but just get some extra stuff.
Yeah.
And change it up and try to create some cool things that people like to wear and a bit more diverse stuff.
That's dope.
And yeah, just do stuff like that and a few more charity hoodies and charity things that we did. With the breast cancer one, you see how many people love that and how many people are affected from it. And yeah, so we'd love to do some more of that and raise some money.
Sick.
Yeah.
Are you able to do all those products at your current manufacturer, or do you have to go elsewhere?
No. Oh, we've picked up another one for denim.
Yep.
But besides that, we've got a couple. We've got about 4 or 5 that we use.
Yep.
So, there.
Yeah.
Sick.
And the best part is you've always got time and money to be investing into a better product. Like you're never just going to be, oh, this is it forever. It's always like, all right, if there's a bit of downtime, let's focus on maybe changing the dimensions, materials, look what we can do just to always keep it rolling. Sort of
Progressing
thing.
up.
That's important. And we have a bit of a tradition on this podcast. What we do is like we like to, because we have a fairly young audience of like people at uni, kids coming out of school, people that are at jobs that maybe they're, assessing their options. Like, what do I want to do? Do I want to stay in this job? So like it is a bit taboo in like the streetwear industry to talk like money, and people are like, oh, I don't want to disclose. But we come from this angle where we like to shed light on like revenues, just to like tell people if you put in 2 years, 3 years of really hard work, this is where you might be able to land if you jump on TikTok live enough.
Genuinely.
If you do this,
So what's like a reasonable sort of month look like revenue wise? Or I know you guys do drops as well, which is tough.
Which is tricky because we do drops. It always changes.
Yeah.
But recently, like we're getting up to 1,000 garments a drop. So when they're marked up to $120 and you got $10 shipping.
Yep.
Yep.
You do the
People
math.
can do the maths. Yeah.
That's some simple maths right there.
The goal is definitely
But just try to get drops monthly as well, is what we're saying.
to
this
have
year.
consistent drops.
Yeah.
And that way it's like,
And it is reflected on what you put into it. Obviously, if we sit here and do nothing for a few weeks, we might make $0 in a month.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if we work to get a good product out, market it correctly, you could have a 6-figure month. Like it's all like what you put in.
yeah. And that's why we were saying recently, just before the podcast, like for advice with you boys, because we want to get rid of our jobs. Don't get me wrong, I love my job. That's why I'm still do a couple of days there. Definitely. I work at a primary school, love the kids, love the community there, but it's not what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And if it's going to be my number one option because I've got shifts coming up, then the brand's always going to be second option.
Yeah.
Put all my eggs in one basket and see what we can grow it to. And same with Coop. We said he's got a uni degree, but
I've kind of butchered the last couple of years.
Yeah. But we said that. We said you've got to take sacrifices, and I said that I want to take sacrifices. I've gotten rid of heaps of shifts this year because I'm like, it's not like, yeah, cool, I get paid from that, but we can afford to pay ourselves and work extra hard and grow it into something else.
Definitely.
So we'll see what happens. But
tell us a bit about your relationship with Enzo. We see a lot of Enzo on the socials.
yeah, the boy Enzo, he's so for those that don't know, I work at a primary school, and Enzo is the only boy in Australia with, it's called progeria, which is like a rapid aging disease. So he's 10 at the minute. And yeah, just dude, a ball of light, like the best kid ever. So much energy, lovely family, mum and dad, Katarina and Percy. They're amazing, and the school is very good to Enzo. He has the best time ever. Like, loves going to school. His lunchbox is M&Ms, pancakes, loves Vegemite.
Unbelievable.
His fruit is just like a fruit strap, and that's it.
Chocolate milk, like testing.
Yeah, genuinely. He has milks. Genuinely. He'll be rocking up with the chocolate milk testers. Going, this one. But nah, he's a ball of energy. But unfortunate circumstances with what he's been dealt. But you wouldn't know. Like, you would not know. He's just the most positive kid, and he brought it on to me as well.
Wow.
So I've worked with him for the last 5 years. But yeah.
That's awesome.
So,
Cool. Thanks for sharing that.
anytime.
Yeah. Cool.
Thank you. We actually went to the Crows the other day.
I saw.
That's where you messaged me, eh?
Yeah, I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, and they were unreal.
Yeah.
They were so good.
Yeah.
Like Josh Rachel, he hooked up. I was talking to him, and he got a Guernsey signed up, gave it to Enzo. But even like Tex, all those boys, Sam Berry, those boys, legends.
Wow.
Like, couldn't have been better with him.
Love to hear it,
And
man.
made his whole day.
Yeah.
It's special.
So you guys think you're close to going full time then?
Oh, it's there if we want to.
Yeah.
It's just trying to figure out the smart way to do it. I think instead of like we're still so
22
learning.
as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for 22, so
Very
we're still
young.
learning a lot.
Amazing.
We started this up when we were 19, 20.
Yeah.
Just going with the flow, sort of just building it. And it sort of got to a point where we're like, okay, we've got like a business here now. Like we've got the money to do this, but what's the smart way to do it?
Yep.
And what's the intelligent way, instead of just going, perfect, let's just start sending us this cash and let's go do this and that.
Yeah, put a bunch of
it
risk on
is
yourself.
Yeah.
It's definitely like, so you run a business, you have to put time into it. It's also like 2 great days for the week would be way better than 5 days of hanging around, missing 3 days of work where that money could be put into the business and you're just floating. So it's like, we do still have time to work, which obviously helps us to do stuff like this, like come over to Melbourne for the weekend, And
Just
obviously
trying to figure a balance of
Yeah.
what is going to be best for us.
learning how to put
The
good
two
quality,
biggest
quality time
procrastinators
into
in
it. Yeah, I
probably
know.
the world.
It takes us a few days to do a 1 minute job.
Didn't
So
finish my packing until probably a good 11:30 last night.
Oh,
Sat on the phone, FaceTime for a good probably 6 hours, just going, what should I pack? Hey, I'll do that in a sec. Hey, what are you watching? Quick game of COD?
Quick camera cut.
What's the dynamic between you guys? Like, do you have kind of specified roles in the business?
We sort of, well, since the start, we sort of just like figured out who was better at, not who was better at what, but passions and stuff like that. I can't construct an email to save my life. Coop's unreal at constructing emails.
building emails.
Building emails and writing to manufacture. Like communication is very good online. I'd happily speak in person, but when it comes to pen to paper, I'll just sound like an idiot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in saying that, I run all the socials, well, Instagram, reply to the messages. So if any of the messages are co-constructed, it's my fault. A few spelling errors. But I've always had a passion for a vision for that type of side of it, like Instagram and the visuals, visual side of thing. So I've always loved doing that and have had great help along the way.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You kind of just like from day one, you kind of see what has to be done, and you kind of figure, all right, how are we going to do this?
Yeah.
Say it's like responding to a lawyer about trademarks. That's a recent thing. It's like, all right, sit down, break it down, reply, and or if Mitch goes and posts about the pop up this weekend, like it kind of just like molds into each other.
Yeah. Like we know what
Just
we've done and what we do, and it's just sort of easy, just going perfect, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom.
Yeah.
a few things do slip past, but
Yeah.
that's part of the learning, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think that's when that's what we're saying as well. It's like, cool, if we can sit out a few days, 3 or 4 days a week, two to 3 days a week, and then we've got, this is what you need to do this day and this day and this day. This is what I've got to do, boom, boom, boom. If you do it in 1 day, cool, you got an extra day off. If you do it in 2 days, boom. Otherwise, we're going to have to take a day off work so we can get it done. And that's where our head's sort of at, is just put all that time and energy into it.
Love it, man.
What's your personal friendship been like? Like
Yeah,
from the inception of building a business?
Nah, we've gone way close. Like we were already
Yeah.
so close before. Like we said, our best family friends. So we've had to grow up.
Yeah.
together. We had no option.
No options.
We had no option. But obviously, because you're spending heaps of time a week.
Yeah.
But through school, like Coop went to a different high school in the end. So like we had distance there, which I think was probably the best thing for it.
Yeah.
Then we've come
Who
back
knows
so
if
much
we-
closer.
Yeah.
And we've also got groups of friends outside of our friendship, if that
good.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Like we're not all molded in one massive
Yeah.
group.
Yeah.
We've got different
That's
groups that
healthy.
we also hang out with and then also bring each other into, which I think is the best side.
It molds well though. Like a weekend like
so
this
good.
where it's work, coincide
it's-
work, but
yeah.
it's like we're just hanging out the
Yeah.
whole weekend. It's not like
Just
oh
mucking around,
god, I've
having
got to
heaps
do
of
this.
fun.
It's just we get to do this. It's not
Enjoy
we've
each
got
other's
to.
company and make it work.
Dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's critical because I think, you guys coming in as close family friends, you never want that strain from the business.
Yeah, oh, definitely not.
Exactly. And that's
Yeah.
what I've said to a few of the boys. Like one of my best mates asked me the other day, he goes, why'd you never ask me to do it with you? I was like,
Because I hate you.
because a small dose person, brother. I said, you're a good guy when you're sleeping, but when you're asleep, mate. But nah, I think that's the thing as well, is like you wouldn't want to do it with someone that you like are so close with. That would ruin that. And you wouldn't be able to take each other seriously, and you'd be mucking around. Although I'm saying everything that we still do,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean. Like
Yeah,
you've got
yeah.
the friendship with the family as well.
Yeah.
Like our whole families are friends, so it makes it that much better.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah,
Dope.
Yeah, you learn pretty quick though if you got into business with the wrong person.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Boys, like you guys came out here at, you got in your flight at like fucking 4 a.m. and, jumping out here. Like we really appreciate you coming across, and
Appreciate.
I love
having
this
us.
conversation. I got a lot out of it.
No, I really
Yeah,
appreciate
appreciate
it.
you guys
I really
very much.
appreciate it as well. Thank you so much.
Looking forward to see what you guys do this year.
Likewise,
a bit of
you
work
guys,
together.
exciting
Yeah.
to see what's coming. I'm excited.
Together.
For sure.
Both exciting for both of
100%.
us.
Exciting.
Sure.
2023, the year of us.
That's it. Thanks, fellas.
Thank you
No, I
very
really
much.
appreciate that.
Awesome.
Cheers, brothers.
Cheers, Luke.
Cheers, Luke.